This is NAB Show Live.
Here with Emery Wells, co-founder and CEO of Frame.io.
Hey, doing great.
Awesome. So, tell us a little bit about Frame.io.
Sure. So Frame.io is a video review and collaboration platform. What does that mean? It means there's a host of tools that help filmmakers, editors collaborate while they're making video. What are the challenges that people have when they're making video? First, you have a lot of big video files that people need access to, right? You have your dailies, you have your work in progress edits, you have lots of different things that you're making that you need to distribute for different reasons. Most people historically have turned to file sharing services, something like Dropbox or Box, and that's fine if you want to share one big file, right? But what if you want to share the work in progress edit? You're working on an edit. You need to share that and you need to get feedback. Most people would turn to something like maybe Vimeo or YouTube because there's a better video playback experience. But all of the collaboration would happen via email. So you'd send this link out, potentially with a password on it, and then you have this conversation via email. But it's actually really hard to communicate about moving video in a static email. I'm sure you've had many conversations in email where you're saying like, okay, so at 1 minute and 10 seconds and 2 frames, there's this thing that's happening in the upper right-hand corner, and then the thing he says after that should come before the thing he said before, and then, oh, that bit we cut out last week, let's cut that out, right? It's impossible to have a coherent conversation if you even have it at all. What happens in most cases is feedback paralysis. If I send you a video, you immediately have tons of thoughts about it. It's very clear in your mind, but you don't really know how to communicate it because you start writing that email and you're like, oh man, this sucks. I'm gonna just wait till I can sit down with the editor tomorrow or whatever the case may be. So Frame.io allows you to leave timestamped comments. Rather than having to do that email, you leave a comment on a particular frame. You can draw and annotate on that frame to be really clear about what you're trying to communicate. We handle the high-speed file sharing, all the version management that happens as you're iterating through multiple versions of your edit. We handle dailies. We handle a whole host of things, and then we're integrated into all the creative platforms. So.
And all of that is within the confines of Frame.io.
That's all within the confines of Frame.io. There's lots of different ways to share that material out when you're trying to get feedback from your clients, or you want to present something to your clients as finished, or you want to send out deliverables. We have all kinds of tools for that. And that's all within the web app. So the main application is a web application. You can access it from any browser. But then we also have integrations with the creative tools. We are one of the first companies to launch a panel in Premiere Pro and After Effects. We were the launch partner with Apple for their workflow extensions, which we launched late last year. And today at the show, we are launching an integration with Blackmagic's DaVinci Resolve. And what's really exciting about today's launch with DaVinci Resolve is Blackmagic actually built it themselves using our new developer platform. So it's natively woven into the fabric of Resolve. You don't have to download anything, it's just in Resolve. And I can tell you more about that.
Right, and your target audience today, could you outline them for our audience?
Sure. So we've had close to 750,000 filmmakers from all around the world sign up to Frame.io, and that's everyone from individual creatives and event videographers all the way up to Hollywood studios, broadcast organizations, big media organizations like Vice and BuzzFeed. So Frame.io really is for everyone. We have a plan that's accessible to individuals and small teams, but we also have the security and the compliance and the robust tools that are necessary to deploy this at a Hollywood studio or a big media organization like BuzzFeed or Vice, where they have 1,000 people collaborating on Frame.io.
Emery, do you think it's possible for you to outline some of the key points of the software for us now?
Sure. So this is what Frame.io looks like. You basically have a list of projects here on the left, your current project in the middle, and all your collaborators on the right. So I'm going to take you through an example workflow. I'll try to move pretty quickly here. I'll create a new project. We'll call this demo. I have a whole bunch of options I could set up on this project. For example, maybe I don't want people to download the material in this. I could turn download permissions off. But I'll go ahead and create the project. And the first thing we need to do is grab some media from the desktop. So here I have a mix of video, audio, and stills. You don't have to pre-compress anything. It doesn't have to be in any special format. You just drag and drop.
All of it at the same time?
What's that?
All of the files of various formats at the same time?
That's right, and they could be in a folder structure. We'll retain the folder structure. And what's happening now is an accelerated file transfer. So this file transfer is up to 5 times faster than Dropbox. And you ask yourself, well, how do we do that? Are we creating magical bandwidth? No, we're not. We're not creating magical bandwidth. It'll only go as fast as your bandwidth provides. Provider, but we will maximize all of the bandwidth that you have, which is not something that every uploader can do. So when you use a dedicated file transfer solution, like Aspera or Signiant, which are designed for speed. That's what they're doing. They're maximizing the available bandwidth that you have. We've built that natively into Frame.io. You don't have to download any additional software, which you usually have to do with the other dedicated solutions. It's just built in, it's native. So we store that original file. If you uploaded 4K ProRes files, that's what we upload and store. But we generate these proxies and these hover scrubs. So you can just hover over a clip, get a quick idea, see this headlight shot. I can spacebar, and I can preview it that way. It's not previewing at the moment, but we have quick look, so really quick way to just kind of navigate around your media. The whole interface is built for speed, so you can do things like drag and drop. Now, if I wanted to add somebody to this project, I can do it via this Add Collaborator button, and I will add a colleague here. We'll add Marcia. Now, Marcia's going to get an email notification and an in-app notification, which means anything that goes on in this project, new uploads, new comments on clips, she'll get notified via our iPhone app with a push notification if she has that, or an email and an in-app notification up here. So I'm going to jump over to this other project that I had previously set up. And one of the things that we manage is version control. So as you know, during the creative process, there's an endless number of versions. And rather than having 25 thumbnails of all those different versions, or even worse, having 25 individual links in your inbox, potentially with different passwords associated with them, we create version stacks. So these two clips that I have side by side are two different versions of the same edit, and I'll just drag the new one. I have, this is V2. I'll drag this new one on top of V1, and I've created a version stack. And now this is like a nice little neat kind of organized folder of all the versions or all the different versions of this edit. And those versions will be available to me when I'm in the player. So I'll jump into the player, and obviously the first thing we can do is play things back. Turn the volume up. So I can say, you know, great shot. When I hit submit, as you notice, when I started typing, the video automatically paused. So I can sit there, I can just sort of take it in, what I'm watching. I start typing to get my thought out. The video pauses, I hit enter, and the video automatically resumes. Now, sometimes that comment that I just left is timestamped. It's on that frame. But sometimes the comment on its own is not enough, and you need to further communicate your idea. So for example, what if I wanted to say, you know, can we brighten up the logo? Now, in this case, it might be kind of obvious what the logo is, but I can actually draw and annotate right on the frame. We have a bunch of different shapes and colors, so you know my editor is not the brightest, so I want to be really specific, and I can even add things like a hashtag. I'll say hashtag legal, and hashtags are a way to organize my comments. I could say hashtag legal, hashtag color, hashtag VFX, and then I could sort of sort through those different comments.
So that sounds amazing, and it looks like there's a lot of features and a lot of capabilities that are built into the software. And for that and much more, tell us where can the attendees find you and get a full demo of the software and talk more about the product.
You can go to frame.io.
And here at NAB?
Yes. Here at NAB, you can find us in our booth, which is booth number SL2426.
And which hall is that in?
South Hall.
Thank you, Emery, for your time. It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you.